Chip Trayanum has made more conversions from linebacker to running back to running back to linebacker than anyone in civilization. And the latest is obviously to help out at the running back position. And there's only so many linebackers on the field. So Ryan Day addressed that at his news conference. But he's basically the fourth option, right? You go to Dallin Hayden at number 3, and then it's Chip Trayanum in case of an emergency, and he had 1 carry in a 44-point victory.
I could see Chip being kind of 3A because he's somebody who's
played.
done it. He's done it in big games, and ball security means everything. And you have a lot of tape on what Chip was able to do at Arizona State. Dallin Hayden, yes, he's seen some snaps and everything else, but he's still a true freshman, and so on and so forth. So, I think that if Ohio State needed to trot out a third running back in this game, that it very well could be Chip.
Yeah, that's a good point. He's been a good safety valve, I think, for Ohio State. I mean, they've thrown him in on special teams and kick return, and he was a blocker this week on kick return for Xavier Johnson. Maybe that'll be the look that they go with going forward. But, yeah, I think he can help them on offense. He played offense at Arizona State and wanted to get out of Arizona State because that was a sinking ship, as we've seen, and then get back to Ohio. And, there's his stats there. He played quite a bit there. So, if it comes down to where they need him, to save the day, then you wonder if all hope's going to be lost by that point anyway, because, Henderson and Williams are your 2 guys. But, I'm interested to see if he gets that opportunity, what he does with it. I don't know that Mayan Williams is going to go to the NFL after this year, but it just makes you wonder if something like that were to happen. Does Chip Trayanum get bumped up to number 2 next year at running back? So, I guess we'll cross that bridge when they come to it.
Ryan Dawes, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate that, sir. Good morning. If Ohio State's defense plays half as well against Penn State as they did against Iowa, what does the game look like? Well, I don't know if we want them to play half as well, but anyway, we get the point. What do you think about that, Kevin?
I mean, I think that Ohio State certainly. I think Ohio State fans would be disappointed if the defense didn't play at least half as well as they did against Iowa, and that doesn't sit there and say, well, 6 turnovers force turns into 3 or whatever. But I think we kind of know what this defense is about. Now it's a matter of being able to get out there and make plays against guys that are trying to move the ball. I think it's really going to come down to what the running backs are going to be able to do, mostly Singleton. I know Allen is getting a good run as well, but Singleton's kind of the guy that I'm looking at for Penn State. If they're able to contain him, if they're able to shut the run down and force Sean Clifford to try and beat them via the pass, we've seen that. We've seen that show before. We know what that looks like. So, I think that, I still am in the mindset that I think that Ohio State not only wins, but I think Ohio State covers. I'm not saying that it's necessarily going to be some sort of dominating. We've seen Ohio State win 63-14. We can go back a little bit before that, and Penn State won one of these 63-14. I'm not going to say this is going to be a 63-14 type of game, but I think Ohio State has everything to prove here and has heard all the noise and heard all the rhetoric that they're just not that good. And this is going to be an opportunity to get out there and prove that, because next week Ohio State draws Northwestern, and that game is not going to get much national attention while you have the 2 biggest games of the SEC schedule coming up that week. So Ohio State needs to really throw out its calling card right now. And while I say, coaches are going to be like, I'm not concerned about style points, I just want to win the game. If Ohio State is capable of having some style points this week, they need to absolutely go for it.